Okay, God's fifth commandment. This is God's family plan, number 1 of 24. Hello, everybody. I'm Jim McCotter. Welcome. God's 10 commandments are foundational to the whole Bible and for all of life itself. Jesus said in Matthew 5:18, quote, I tell you the truth, until heaven and earth disappear, not even the smallest detail of God's law will disappear. End quote. The 10 Commandments are like the preamble or foundation for all God's law. In the 10 Commandments, the very first command, after the commands to honor God, is to honor our father and mother. God gives this command as the highest priority in all of life after honoring God himself. The fifth commandment, Deuteronomy 5:16, says, and I quote, Honor your father and mother as the Lord your God commanded you, so that you may live long and that it may go well with you. End quote. When most people hear this commandment, they usually think of applying it for young children. But God's fifth commandment is not directed just to young children any more than any of the other 10 commandments. In fact, God's fifth commandment, as all the other commandments, makes no reference to children at all. It applies to every person, no matter how young or how old we are. If you miss understanding that God's fifth commandment is for you, you'll miss all that God promised for you in this life. The fifth commandment is the only one of the 10 commandments with God's promise. Obeying it, God promises that you'll have a really good life and a long life. The fifth commandment is the one commandment that Jesus took initiative to bring up when talking to the Pharisees. Moreover, he even referenced the law in putting to death anyone who does not honor their parents. And realize, Jesus was not talking to children. The New Living Translation gives an accurate, broader interpretation of what Jesus really said in Matthew 15, verse 4. Jesus said, quote, God says, honor your father and mother, and anyone who speaks disrespectfully of father or mother must be put to death. End quote. The Apostle Paul also said in Ephesians 6:2-3, quote, honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise. If you honor your father and mother, things will go well with you and you will have a long life on the earth. End quote. The promise was not if you honored your best friend or brother or sister or even your spouse, but rather your parents. But actually, those who honor their parents will honor all the others. Watch out marrying a person who does not honor their parents. Those who dishonor parents will dishonor you when you don't please them. The same Hebrew word that God commands you to honor your father and mother is actually the same Hebrew word in the Bible for honoring God himself in Deuteronomy 28:58, Psalms 22:23, and Psalms 50:23. Why is that? Because whoever does not truly honor their father and mother does not truly honor God, since God commands us to honor our father and mother. One thing is especially important to realize and understand about the word honor. We cannot honor someone if we say nothing positive about them or do nothing for them. There's no such thing as inactive or passive honor. God makes this clear throughout the Bible. Deuteronomy 28, verse 58 connects honor with obeying. Psalms 22:23 connects honor with praise. Psalms 50:23 connects honor with giving thanks. The Webster Dictionary says honor is respect manifested. What is it to actually honor someone? Below are synonyms for honor. When you read this list below, count how many of these attributes of honor describe how you have been or are towards your own father and mother. Here it is. Adoring, attention, complimenting, consideration, defending, deferring, esteeming, exalting, favoring, noticing, obeying, praising, recognizing, regarding, respecting, reverencing, venerating. How many of these words describe how you are towards your father and mother? How we honor our father and mother in obeying God's fifth commandment is exactly how we honor God, since God commands us to honor our father and mother. How many of these words reflect how you have been to your father and mother today? What about this week? What about this month? What about ever? Questions. First, what would living long mean? What could it mean to live well? What are things that many people spend endless time and money on to live a little longer? What guarantee do they have that it will add one day to their life? Do you trust God's first commandment with a promise? If you honor your father and mother, things will go well with you and you will have a long life on the earth? Do you trust John 3:16 for your eternal life and not trust God with his first commandment with the promise? If you honor your father and mother, things are going to go well with you and you're going to live long on the earth? Can you be passive in honoring your father and mother? How much do you want to live a long, good life? If you believe God, who alone gives, as Acts 17:25 says, life, breath, and all things, in what way are you going to change your life? To conclude, Deuteronomy 5:16, honor your father and mother as the Lord commanded you, so that you may live long and that it may go well with you.